So a couple days ago, I uploaded my trailer analysis video of the Thousand Year Door remake, and it was like, doing okay for as well as videos do on this channel, which is usually around a little less or a little more than 100 views. And then I looked at it today, and it had over 1,000 views and became the highest viewed video on the second channel so far. In such a short amount of time, and I was like, what the fuck? How did this happen? So I guess because that video is doing well now, I should probably make another video talking about Paper Mario, which is good because I was gonna do that anyway. But anyway, the video I'm making today is talking about 10 things that I want to see in the Thousand Year Door remake. 10 new things. Now, we don't know for sure if there's gonna be new stuff. I mean, we kind of do, because like I said, there's a new Toad there, on some other new stuff they changed, but like, as far as actual new content goes, not really sure what we're getting into here with the remake, but I don't really expect any or all of this to happen in the first place, so I'm just kind of making this for fun because gosh dang it, I am fixated on Paper Mario right now, and it's just fun to talk about and speculate things, so here are 10 things that I want to see in the Thousand Year Door remake. Number 1 is probably the thing that everybody wants, because there's one thing that people pretty much unanimously criticize about Thousand Year Door, and that is the awful backtracking in certain parts of the game. So basically what I want here is some kind of a better fast travel system. They have the pipes in Rogueport Sewers, but Rogueport Sewers is horrible to navigate. It would just be appreciated if there was an easier way to get around, and honestly, I don't really care about it for the main story stuff. I know like the backtracking in Chapter 4 and Chapter 7 is pretty annoying, but if it's for the main story, I don't really care too much. The main reason I want a better fast travel system is for side quest stuff, like stuff with the Trouble Center or gathering stuff for recipes. So I would just like a much easier way to get around for stuff like that. Number 2 kind of ties into this with making it easier to get around, and that is I really want them to finally bring back the spin dash from Paper Mario 64. It was only in that game. I don't know why they decided to remove it. I've always thought that Thousand Year Door would be like a much more bearable game if it had the spin dash, because it is one of the most satisfying ways to control Mario, and in any Mario game ever. I love the spin dash in PM64, and I'm so mad that they cut it in Thousand Year Door, but this is their chance to bring it back. Now, I kind of doubt they did, because I feel like they would have shown it in the trailer if they were doing that, so I don't expect it to be here at all, but that doesn't mean I can't still hope for it, okay? I really want this spin dash back. Number 3, I think, is actually pretty likely, but I want to see some more badges in the game. Assuming they kind of use the Thousand Year Door as a basis for what the next Paper Mario game is, hopefully that means we will finally have a new game with a badge system in it, and if that's the case, then they're probably going to implement a lot of new badges, so this might be a good opportunity for them to kind of flex their creative muscles a bit and kind of get back into the swing of things when it comes to designing badges. Throw a few new badges in here to test out and see if they would work for a brand new game. What they could do though is they could bring back some badges from 64 that didn't make it to Thousand Year Door. And if they bring the spin dash back, boom, right away, that's speedy spin, dizzy attack back on the menu. Bring back those badges and add some new badges. It'd be perfect. Number 4 is pretty much what I talked about in the last video I made, but I'm really attached to this idea of there being a Toad Town post game in Thousand Year Door. I think that would just be so cool, being able to go around and interact with some of the 64 characters, especially the 64 party members. Please, please, please let us do that. As for stuff that you could do in Toad Town, I got 2 words for you, okay? 2 words. Actually, it's 4 words because it's 2 words each, but the Master and Lil Oink. Can you imagine a rematch against the Master Toad in the dojo with Thousand Year Door mechanics? That'd be so awesome. And Lil Oinks, do I even need to say anything? I mean, I probably do, because I feel like I'm the only one that actually likes Lil Oinks. But I fucking love Lil Oinks, dude. Number 5 is something I really don't expect to happen at all, but everyone's mentioning it. And I obviously would really love if this happened as well, so I'm gonna mention it anyway. But Paper Luigi, okay? Throughout Thousand Year Door, Luigi's always telling telling you about his own adventure in the Waffle Kingdom that he's got going on with his own little group of partners, and for years, for decades at this point, everyone has wanted to see what actually happened in that story. The reason I don't think it's likely is because that's that's basically like a whole different game at that point that they have to make a ton of new assets for, and essentially just make a whole entire new world, right? That's kind of asking for a lot in terms of what to expect from a remake of a game. So I really don't expect this to happen as cool as it would be. I don't know, man. It's just been such a long-running thing in the Paper Mario community for years at this point that it would be so satisfying to finally see it. But like I said, I don't really expect it to happen. Number 6 is actually something from the modern Paper Mario trilogy that I think would be cool to see in an older game, and that is a museum. In Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King, they have a little unlockable museum area that you can go to, and I think, they have a bunch of weird stuff in there. Like, they have some, I think you can mess around with some of the character models in it. There's a sound test usually, I think, but I think the coolest thing about them, actually, I don't think Sticker Star had this, but I think Color Splash, and I know Origami King definitely did, but they have concept art that you can look at in the museum, and I think that would be really cool if we could see some Thousand Year Door concept art, assuming they have, actual old concept art from 2004 or earlier preserved still that we could finally maybe see for the first time, or, even if they have some new concept art for the remake that they may have made. I don't know where they would put a museum. Maybe they could put it in Toad Town, who knows? I don't really know, but I think it would be pretty cool if there was a museum. Number 7 is a weird one, and I fully do not expect this to happen at all, but I just think it would be really, really cool. But one of the things that I don't like about the original Paper Mario trilogy is that the partners that you get are awesome. They have great designs, and they have, a great little story in their own chapters, but once their arc is finished in their own chapter, they're just kind of boring for the rest of the game, and I think that really sucks because these characters are awesome. So I wouldn't expect them to change the story at all to make it so that, the party members can still kind of have their own specific moment to shine even beyond their own specific chapter. I think a very cool kind of side thing would be to say there's a specific area in Rogueport. You could buy a house or rent a house in Rogueport. I'm thinking of the flower house or the flower key that you get in Bug Fables, where you can just buy that house in the Ant Kingdom and just have your own place to heal for free. Something like that. Please take cues from Bug Fables. It's a great game. But imagine there's just some area like that where you can freely interact with all of the party members. They're all out of your party. They're just all hanging around, and you can all talk to them individually and hang out with them, sort of turn into a pseudo dating sim, right? Where you just kind of hang out and bond with the party members to give them a bit more depth and backstory and personality. And I think something that would be really cool is if you could hang out with 2 partners at a time, right? I think it would be so cool because as cool as these partners are and as cool as we kind of associate them all with each other, we don't really see them interact with each other at all. They only interact before they join your party, and then they're just kind of all their own separate thing at that point. So I think actually getting to see the partners interact with each other would be super, super cool. And it's imagine if you get 2 partners to bond enough, they gain some kind of a buff in battle. Now, obviously that's a bit hard to balance because they're kind of already built around the shine sprites and buffing them that way. But imagine it's I just realized I'm taking this straight from Bug Fables again. It's just such a good game, man. But imagine if 2 partners bond, they each get a new combo move. They each get a new duo move. It's no matter which partner of the 2 you have out, they can both use it, and it's just a really powerful team attack that's unique to them. That'd be so cool, but they'd never do that, man. That's asking for way too much. I just thought that was a really, really cool idea. Number 8, speaking of partners, this is also kind of asking for a lot, but I want at least 1 more partner. We only have 7 partners in Thousand Year Door, whereas Paper Mario and in terms of non-optional pixels in Super Paper Mario, they both have 8. Thousand Year Door is the outlier with 7 rounded up to 8, okay? We need an 8th party member. I can tell you right now who I think it should be When I was a kid and I played Thousand Year Door for the first time and I got to chapter 6, I was certain that Pennington was gonna join the party at some point, and I was like, what the heck, man, Pennington is so cool, he would be such an awesome party member. Like, why was he not a party member? He was such an important part of chapter 6. It's just, yeah, it just bothers me, okay? It bothers me that he was not a partner. So basically what I'm saying is I want Pennington to be a partner. But even if it's not him, I just think the idea of there being another optional party member like Miss Mouse, I think that would just be so cool. Number 9, plain and simple, localize Vivian's trans storyline and make it, respectful, of course. That would mean so much to so many people if Nintendo officially acknowledges Vivian as being trans, okay? Now, I don't think they need to do anything super blatant. Like, they don't need to have her say, like, hi, I'm Vivian, I'm transgender. That would be fucking awesome, though, if they did. But, like, they can be a bit more subtle than that. Subtext is a thing and is still a good literary device. I know it may not seem like Nintendo is the most woke and progressive company in the world when it comes to having representation in their games, but they are getting better at it. There was a non-binary character in Xenoblade recently. Behind the scenes, they are super good at welcoming diversity into their company, and I think it's already clear to me that like this remake is being made specifically to cater to a very niche group of their fan base and is not really being made as like a smart tactical business decision at all. And because of that, I feel like they are probably aware of the impact that Vivian has had on the trans gaming community, that it's like, come on, Nintendo, please just give this to us here. And we know they're making changes to the script because Goombella describes herself as a junior instead of just a student. Bowser says lunkhead instead of airhead, which people are already complaining about Nintendo going woke because airhead is apparently offensive, even though it's really not. But like, I think lunkhead fits something Bowser would say better anyway, so I don't care. But like, if they did change lunkhead to be woke, or change it to lunkhead to be woke, well then, hey, why don't you change Vivian's localization to be respectful about her being trans, if you want to be woke so bad, Nintendo? And finally, number 10 is a very stupid one. I've seen literally no one talk about this because it's probably a really dumb idea and wouldn't work, and I put zero thought into how this would actually work, but I think it would be very funny if there were online battles. Online battles in Paper Mario is something that I have thought about since I was a kid, which is probably why it's a stupid idea, because I thought of it when I was a stupid kid, but I just had to mention it here because I think it would be funny. I doubt Nintendo would spend that much on servers for what is largely a single-player game, so the lag, if there was an online mode, would probably be pretty bad, and it would probably ruin the whole point of a Paper Mario online battle system, because, action commands and timing is everything. But I just think it would be super interesting to like choose like 1 or 2 partners to bring into battle that you can switch between in. Pick out your set of badges. I don't know, just queue up with somebody and see what partners they brought and see what badges they brought and see what you can do to actually fight each other, pitting 2 Marios against each other. And you know how they could do it is they could have your opponent be Dupless copying Mario. Boom! Figured it out right there. Lore explanation. I just think it would be funny and weird. I know it probably wouldn't work. There's probably, some technical limitations as to why that just could not work, but I just want to see them try, and if it's a flaming pile of garbage, oh well, they tried and they still made a really damn good remake otherwise. So I just think it would be funny, man. It would be so funny to do online Paper Mario battles. So there you have it. That was 10 things that I want to see in the Thousand Year Door remake. Will we get any of this stuff? Probably not, but it was fun to talk about. So if there's anything that you want to see in the Thousand Year Door remake that I did not mention, feel free to tell me, because I like talking about Paper Mario. I think Paper Mario is really cool and awesome. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.